Hello everyone, Shortsfiat here, and when it comes to gaming, it is a hobby that is generally associated with a variety of different people. There are gamers both young and old, gamers of both genders, and in many countries with good internet, there are large amounts of gamers within them. However, one type of people generally not thought to be members of a gaming community are those who are religious, or more commonly, Christians. In fact, far from people generally believing that Christians are not gamers, many people actually believe that Christians hate gaming and they want to see the hobby die. This is what I feel I need to discuss because that is just simply not the case. How do I know? Simple. I'm a Christian and have been one for about as long as I have been a gamer. Sure, I'm not a perfect Christian and certainly not holier than thou, but still having been both a Christian and a gamer from a young age, I can tell you that many Christians do play games, and hardcore. This concept may be surprising to many people, but when it comes to any group of people, religious or otherwise, you need to understand that there are always divisions among them, with the people within the group believing differently, sometimes to the point of arguments or fights breaking out. Metal music fans are a great example of this. But thinking beyond metal music fans, what about feminists? Take the game Bayonetta 2, for instance. Some feminists felt that the main character was over-sexualized, while other feminists felt that she was a strong female character that did their gender proud. This is the same case with Christians. There are divisions, denominations, and infighting among the group. For example, some Christians waste their time arguing among themselves over the long day creation idea versus the short day creation idea. They can't just be content to say God created the earth. They've got to argue over how long it took to do so. We also see these divisions in other places. Homosexuals are a good example. Some so-called Christians hate them, and others, like myself, don't worry about what someone else does in their bedroom that doesn't affect my life in any way. So you have Christians that violently protest homosexuals, and then you have Christians that welcome gays into their churches and even allow gay ministers to preach. And let's not forget about the ones that go to gay pride parades and hold signs that say things like, "We're sorry for the way other Christians have treated you." Gaming is no different. There are some Christians that hate gaming and think it is the devil, but I can assure you that there are others that game, and like I say, game hardcore. Now, to understand this difference, you need to understand one fundamental truth about religions of the world. With all religious beliefs, you have the religion and the faith, as I choose to describe it. People of the Christian religion are the zealous ones that believe it is all about following strict rules and being overly preachy, but then people of the Christian faith simply believe in God's love and sharing that love with the world and just being the best person you can be. It is the same with the religion of Islam. Religious extremists in Islam do suicide bombings, and others act in the name of their God, but people who are just simply of the Muslim faith, do things like read the Quran with their families and live their lives without ever wanting to hurt anyone. So, in religions, we tend to say that often. There's the religion, and then there's the faith. In fact, some Christians actually despise the idea that their belief is considered a religion, because we don't like the connotation that goes with that word, religious. So essentially, the quote-unquote religious people are anti-gaming because their heads are so far up their butts they can't see the light of day. But those of us of the Christian faith see no problem with it. Despite what people may think about Christians, many of us are intelligent and with the times, so to speak. We know how the world works and that gaming is a great hobby. So allow me to explain just how open-minded some Christians are towards gaming. I want you to consider the following facts. For my entire academic life, I was sent to a Christian academy. I never attended public schools, and at the academy I met other young Christians, and many of them played video games. And so we would get together to play these games with each other. What games did we play, you ask? Well, here's a list of the games that I played with other Christians, either in gaming get-togethers at each other's house or online. These games include games like Age of Empires 1 and 2, Perfect Dark for the N64, GoldenEye 007, Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart, WCW NWO Revenge for the N64, Doom 2, Unreal Tournament, Unreal Tournament 2004, Diablo 1 and 2, and some games from the Call of Duty and Medal of Honor franchises. There were probably more of them, but I can't seem to remember all of them right now. But here's a question for you. How many of you questioned if you heard correctly when I said that Christians got together and played Doom 2 and Diablo 1 and 2? Well, I didn't stutter. We played those games together, and before you think, "Oh well, I bet your parents didn't know about it," they did, and they allowed it. After all, the laws in the US say you can't sell M-rated games to kids, and we were kids, and I'm pretty sure Diablo and Doom were rated M, so a parent had to be with us to purchase them. Now, if you seriously cannot wrap your head around why several Christian parents would let their Christian children play games like Doom and Diablo, then congratulations on having no understanding of what Christianity is actually about. Let me ask you, what do you do in those games? Well, you fight the forces of hell, including Satan, right? What should Christians be doing in real life? Fighting against the forces of hell and Satan. How then would playing a game where you do in-game what you're supposed to do in real life be bad? Now, I know many Christians have claimed that these games were satanic and evil and the like, but our parents heard the claims, talked to us, and watched us play, and realized that we were, in fact, fighting against the forces of hell and Satan, and in their minds, that is what Christians should be doing. As such, the idea of us playing these games was not a problem for them. My mother didn't even let the news media, after the Columbine shooting, convince her that her children should not be playing Doom. Now you may be saying, okay, that makes sense, but what about the games that are just violent, like the wrestling games or the first-person shooters, where you are killing other people? Our parents had handled this rationally as well, and it was basically, do you realize this is fantasy and not real, and that you shouldn't kill in real life? When we answered yes, we were allowed to play, and our parents watched our activity with others in the real life. If we started to forget that it was just fantasy and then tried to pretend or actually fight or shoot people, then we were in serious trouble. And this is what I'm saying. Many Christians are not morons, and we look at things logically. As such, our parents didn't see the harm in it. And funny story, my mother, after seeing us play games on the computer, asked, "Is there any games on there I can play?" So we started her off with a few games, and now she's in her 60s and still plays games on the computer for hours at a time. Sure, she does other things too, but she feels that games are a great way to relax. So think about that. A Mennonite in her 60s is playing games on the computer still to this day. In fact, my brother and I had to get her a computer not all that long ago because her old one just wasn't fast enough. I joked about getting her an Alienware like mine, but she thinks that's a bit too much. She has been at it for a while, and in fact, when we were younger, we had to get her her own computer because it was too much of a hassle and annoyance always having to get off our computers because she wanted to play. Now again, consider that my mother was born and raised Mennonite with the long dresses and hair bonnets, kind of like the Amish, and she plays video games. So do you see what I'm saying? Many Christians love gaming. When you dive a little deeper, you can begin to understand why it is such an enjoyable hobby. You see, many people play games because it allows them to do things they can't do in real life, either good or bad. So the average person may play Grand Theft Auto and kill people knowing it is bad in real life, but fun in the game. Same with Christians. Back years ago when I played Freelancer, I decided to be a drug smuggler on a server I played on. After a while, police players saw me, and that my ship was carrying over 2,000 tons of drugs, and pursued me, but I got away. Not long after, I sent my cruiser into civilized space, and 7 police players surrounded me and claimed I was under arrest because it was proven that not only did I have drugs, but I ran from the cops. I then proceeded to kill them all, because cops can't be doing that. People needs these drugs, man. Of course, the next day, all those police players decided to call upon the military and Navy players and established a multi-system blockade and search of system jump holes in the gates, and after a roughly 2-hour pursuit, locked me down so I couldn't warp away, while battleships and cruisers moved in and showed me that drug smuggling and killing cops was wrong. Boom. Hello, death screen. So yeah, as a Christian, I played as a vicious drug smuggler that killed cops and didn't feel bad about it, or that God thought it was wrong. Now why is that, you may ask? It's simple. Why do people play as the bad guy in video games? One word: challenge. In the real world, there is more good than bad, and in most video games world, the same is true. I played as a good guy in Freelancer for a while, but what I noticed was that there were a lot more people being police and military players than pirates. So the police and military players would just spend their time scanning ships that had no illegal goods and send them on their way. Sure, the occasional pirate came in, but I noticed they always killed them quickly. I wanted to challenge myself, and when you switch to the side of evil, it is more challenging because you now have more people against you than with you. Not only that, I wanted these police and military players to have fun, and by being the guy that didn't just log off when they were about to catch me, I gave them the opportunity to have a fun pursuit that required them to work together and coordinate well. And indeed, I received compliments and gratitude from some of these players for actually giving them a fight and not just being a coward and logging out, or being a crybaby because I lost. And that is the appeal of being bad, is it not? Challenge. And there is nothing wrong with playing the bad guy in video games as long as you know it's not okay in real life. So yeah, I smuggled thousands of tons of drugs in a video game, but I've never used drugs in real life. never smoke or drink an alcoholic beverage either, because I know it is wrong. Also, perhaps more bizarre than that, I honestly don't feel it is wrong to play as other religions in a video game. I play Civilization 5, and sure, I played as a Christian civilization a couple times, but other times I played around with other made-up religions. For example, my Inca who rule Alaska and the western coast of the United States practice Flaufogalism, which translates to bluebirdism. Yep, they worship the bluebird. And the nearby civilization is Protestant Christian, and I am adamantly trying to convert them to the ways of the bluebird. I don't feel this is wrong in a video game because, as anyone who's played Civilization 5 will tell you, all I'm really doing is changing the little symbol above a city and the bonus that's applied to the city. My converting Christians in Civ 5 to the way of the bluebird affects not a thing in real life. I know that, and God knows that, and as such, I am not convinced that He cares what I do in a video game so long as I worship Him in real life. And it's the same with Minecraft and StarMade. I wanted to create a civilization from a first-person perspective, so I started out in Minecraft with a people I'm calling the Antiquarians. And due to my fascination with ancient real-life history, I wanted to live as one that advanced through the ages and eventually conquered space. So that is what I do. I play these people's early stages on their home world in Minecraft, and when I want to play them in the future, I jump onto my StarMade server and live their interstellar dreams. But going back to the ancient civilizations, one key part of them all is religion, and many times their religious beliefs were crazy but based on what they observed, so that is what I decided to do with my civilization in Minecraft and StarMade. Base my people's religion on what we observed. As such, I noticed that water protected my people from the dreaded Enderman. As such, I am like, water protects us from what we cannot defend against. As such, we must worship water and build our cities in water. And this is the basis of my civilization, water worshippers who build their cities in water and line their overland bridges with water. And in the center of their cities are water temples where we must make offerings of extra wheat seeds to the water goddess so that the land can continue to grow. I let this religious belief govern many aspects of my people's lives, such as how they build and the like, and I even use this belief to justify killing cows. Is that wrong? In real life, sure. But this is how people lived back then, basing a religion on what they saw and using that to justify murder. I love and am practically obsessed with ancient history, and through Minecraft I can better understand this, and with StarMade I can live out how that can change over time and how cultures change. I have even went so far as to write religious texts in Minecraft about not only the water goddess, but her sister, the sun goddess Olivia, and the peoples of the Olivian desert, whom we must aid and ally with. Again, maybe really stupid in real life, but do I care? No. It is fun, and this is what gaming is about, having fun, playing with life and doing things you can't in real life. Like I say, I honestly feel I'm committing no sin because God knows I actually know the sun is just a ball of fire and water is just an element and not actually God's. Though I may be straying away from the point of this video, which is just to simply say Christians play and love games too. But you know why you probably don't hear a lot about Christian gamers? Simple. When we are playing games online with you, we realize something. You're not in church, and probably don't want to hear a sermon or anything like that, and it isn't like we're going to log in and say, "Hi everyone, I'm a Christian." I mean, do people log in and say, "Hi everyone, I'm a construction worker"? No, there's no need to say your race, age, religion, vocation, political opinion, etc. when you play a game, because we are all here to have fun and we don't need to know or care about your real life situation. Maybe if we become good friends over time, I would love to hear more about your real life, but in the typical case, we are all there to play and have fun. The reason for this is simple. We play games to escape real life and put ourselves on an equal plate with other people. Gaming allows us to be around others without the differences between us in real life mattering. For example, I don't have any friends that I know of in real life that I can do things with because I'm just way too different. My idea of a good time is watching documentaries for hours, or studying linguistics, or riding a bike for several hours straight. Add that to the fact that I don't drink or party or go to strip clubs, and you essentially have no one wanting to hang out with me in real life. So I log onto a game where no one cares about any of that, and I can have fun and interact with other people. That is what gaming is about, and, in my opinion, the greatest thing about our beloved Davi. So yeah, in closing, many Christians are gamers too, and when you hear crap spewed from the mouths of the ignorant Christians that hate gaming, just ignore them, as they have no idea what they're talking about, but try not to generalize all of us into one category. After all, how many of you hate that gamer stereotype? You know, the one that says we're all fat, unemployed, 30-year-old virgins living in our parents' basement. It is annoying because it is either not true, or if we actually are one of those things, it's not because of gaming. I know many gamers at work, For example, that, due to a lack of seniority, got laid off in the winter during our slow season. So they may be unemployed at times, but the fact that they're gamers has absolutely nothing to do with why they're unemployed. Point is, gamers hate the gamer stereotype. But why do some feel it is okay to hate the gamer stereotype, but continue to perpetuate the Christian stereotype and saying that we're all ignorant morons to have no idea how the real world works? I see this all the time, especially on YouTube. It is annoying, so I'm asking all of you to think about how much you hate the gamer stereotype, and know that that is how Christian gamers feel. Even more so because we got two negative stereotypes directed our way on a regular basis. We have to deal with the gamer stereotype and the Christian stereotype. Oh well, I don't expect any of it to actually change, but the point is, many Christians love gaming and believe it to be a great hobby that should be enjoyed by many people. Anyways, this has been Schwartz Fiat. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.